Well, Pete, I know you're not looking forward to reviewing this Star Wars show, Pete. And so I want to thank you, Pete, for agreeing to do it anyways.
Pete has left the building. Please leave a message at the sound of the tone.
Who am I talking to?
Beep.
Who am I speaking with?
Carl.
Yes, that's right. I remember now. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Movie Men podcast. I'm Brady. That's Carl.
Hey.
And as we sort of alluded to in the... I mean, it wasn't so much an illusion? Alluding? Help me out. How would you say that?
Tip the hat.
Yeah.
Showed your hand.
We weren't really beating around the bush. We made a pretty clear public announcement. We are not changing, but adding to the Movie Men podcast. So the weekly episodes with Carl and I reviewing movies and currently episodes of The Rings of Power. That won't change. That's not going away.
I'm going to get to do that too?
Well, maybe. I mean, you're going to do Black Adam with it. Basically,
you said you and me. You meant you and Pete.
You and I are going to do... I mean, you'll definitely be in on all of the MCU episodes because, you know...
Yeah, but you and Pete are doing Rings of Power.
Pete and I are doing Rings of Power,
yes.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said you and Carl. So Carl and I.
It's Monday.
Mondays.
Yeah. Carl and I are going to do some television reviews, specifically MCU shows, Star Wars shows, basically comic book nerdy shows that him and I would both regularly be watching anyways. What?
Everything Pete doesn't want to do.
Basically, yeah. You know, after 6 months, I'm still trying to get him to watch like Hawkeye or something. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Just come on, man.
He's a prime example of my analysis of where the MCU's at in the Doctor Strange episodes that we did.
Exactly.
And that if you're not watching it, you can still enjoy it, but you're definitely missing out on the full experience.
Exactly. So yeah, we're going to do that, which will sometimes mean an extra episode a week. If they're running a Star Wars and a MCU show at the same time, it could mean 2 extra episodes a week. And if we're in a dry spell, then Carl and I will just have to have cuddle time with the little plush figures that we've made of each other because we'll be missing each other otherwise. So we're kicking things off with Andor. The newest Star Wars show. It's sort of a prequel to a prequel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
5 years before a prequel.
Yeah. So I'm excited to talk about this. You and I we've not conferred. We've not cross-examined each other's notes. So I have no idea what this
We didn't do a watch party.
We didn't do a watch party. I don't know what you think of this show, and you don't know what I think of this show. I do want to preface this by saying, historically, it's not that I'm not a fan of the live-action Star Wars shows. Like, I don't dislike... Like, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. I don't. I certainly like it more than Book of Boba Fett. But...
Yeah.
I also just don't really care. Like Mandalorian is not hitting a Star Wars sweet spot for me. It's not scratching an itch or an era or a subject matter that I really care about, that really fascinates me about Star Wars. And so, the live
I think
action
we differ there.
Yeah, the live action shows have sort of been a miss for me in a lot of ways. Because for me, Star Wars, and this is like, I get it, this maybe makes me like a Star Wars simpleton, but whatever. All film and television stuff is subjective, and that's what makes it so great. When I'm watching Star Wars, I want to see Sith. I want to see the Force. I want to see the light side and the dark side, and sort of that ancient struggle, that balance between the two. And I like that the way that the rebels and the Empire play into that. But when we're simply dealing with rebellion and Imperial troops and stuff like that, or more specifically bounty hunters, I'm just like, it's just missing something for me, you know?
Right. So Andor is the a prequel to Rogue One. So let's, like, with you saying that, why don't we kind of like, what was your feelings on Rogue One? Because Rogue One was missing a lot of what you were just saying.
Rogue One I enjoyed because Rogue One I ultimately enjoyed. I mean, there's certainly moments where I think Rogue One is a little slow and it kind of drags. And that, for me, is going to be like the Saul Guerrero stuff and stuff like that. Because, again, to me, that's just so far detached from you know, what I know. But there was, like, Rogue One had enough, like, Vaders in there. We get the most, up until that point, the most badass Vader moment with the hallway scene. Like,
yeah. Right there at the very end, though.
Yeah, there was enough.
Wait the whole movie for it.
Yeah, but there was enough there that, like, it was also so heavily focused on the Empire that, like, we see stormtroopers in The Mandalorian, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're reminded that they're there and there's the Empire and stuff like that. Rogue One was very stormtrooper, X-Wing, everything else heavy. Like, in a lot of ways, it just felt very much like A New Hope. And so I think that helped. But at the same time, like, the first thing that I've written down on my notes here about the show Andor is, who asked for this?
That's my thoughts going into it as well. It's like, Andor is a character from a spin-off prequel leading into that leads into A New Hope, who's not the main character, but he's definitely, like, one of the main protagonists.
But I think he's the least interesting character from Rogue One, too.
Yes, he definitely wasn't the most interesting. And yeah, so he's not, like, in the, what has it been, 5 years since Rogue One? Something like that?
Something like that.
And when you think about the original trilogy, this is kind of like a Boba Fett mentality here. Like, they're trying to make the next Boba Fett. Boba Fett had a few scenes, almost no dialogue, and he became this crazy badass guy that everybody loved.
Right. But going into this show, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's been nobody turned in the 5 years since Rogue One. Nobody hyped Andor into this crazy. There even in the extended canon, books and comic books and novels, there's not a lot about Andor. Like, why Andor?
Like, if I'd created a whiteboard survey, right, brought 100 people, 100 Star Wars fans into the room, and I said, put a check mark below the show that you want, and it was things like High Republic, Old Republic, I don't know, like a live action Clone Wars show, or you know, even like I don't know, give me like a Darth Plagueis show or something like that. And then also on that board is Andor.
Yeah.
Andor's not getting any votes.
No, he's near the bottom. I would agree.
So
you got no arguments from me.
So going
it's not
into
a show
this,
I don't think anybody really wanted. So where is it coming from? Is a really good question.
So going into it, I was hyped because it was Star Wars, but ultimately that's where the hype ended. I was like, okay, but
exactly.
All right, let's do this, I guess. I want to do. So we talked about the setting of this show, which is 5 BBY, 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah. Did you, before we jump in, I'm just curious, like, for me, for a lot of movies and TV that I'm really interested, or that I'm even remotely interested in seeing, I try to not watch trailers and stuff that'll potentially spoil the show for me. Did you kind of go in clean to this, or did you watch a lot of trailers and read articles about it?
I saw one trailer that didn't interest me. And so then not only did I decide that I wasn't going to watch any more trailers, but I also decided, like, you know, I might be a little late on the Andor train. Like, eventually I'll get around to watching it, but I'm not going to. It's not priority one. What changed that? Literally, the only reason that I've started watching the show already was our decision to start reviewing these shows.
Yeah. And I would say I would have watched it regardless right away as something to watch throughout the week, but I wasn't looking forward. Like, it wasn't something that was right near the center of my radar that this is something I want to watch. Definitely. It's more just kind of like, oh, it's just more content of something I enjoy that I can watch.
For sure. Yeah, Rings of Power, the excitement for me with Rings of Power was palpable, and has continued to be week to week. Like, I sent Pete a message yesterday and I was like, it's only Sunday. I need more Rings of Power. Like,
yeah, it's been good. I've been enjoying
I need another episode. But yeah, going into this, I was like, okay. Like, even so much so that, like, they've been out for, the first 3 episodes have been out for what, like 4 or 5 days? I watched them late last night. Like, I
watched them late last night because we kind of just finalized me coming on and doing this early last week, and I just didn't have time until Sunday night to watch them. But yeah, I watched all 3 back to back last night. Yeah.
So it takes place during 5 BBY, and this is something that is significant, because what we get in this first episode is the first on-screen usage of the first on-screen Star Wars canon acknowledgement that BBY is used as, and ABY is used as, like, a calendar measurement in Star Wars. Us fans have certainly used it for forever. But it's never been referenced in a TV show or a movie that they are using the Battle of Yavin as, you know. Now, obviously, they're not at this point because the Battle of the Yavin hasn't happened, and they don't know that it's going to happen. But it's the first time that Star Wars has looked at us and said, hey, instead of saying this is 5 years before the events of New Hope, we're just going to flat out tell you this is 5 BBY. And that's significant because it has canonized the use of that calendar system.
Yeah, it's easier to put the time frame in your mind based on that as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, as opposed to being like, oh, it's 15 years after the fall of the Republic, and people are sitting there doing the math going, okay, wait, so what does that mean?
Which version of the Republic? Or Old Republic or New Republic?
Yeah, right? Yeah. So in the first episode, we don't get really any glimpse at the Empire. The Empire's referenced, but we don't have any stormtroopers. What we do have is this Preox Morlana private security company?
Yeah, security company. I think it's kind of like a larger corporation, and then they're just the security arm of it.
Yeah, they seem to also
they talk
sort of
about a
act
mining company a bit too in the episode that I think that they work for or they're part of.
Yeah, and so and I don't. It seems weird to me. Like, why not just give us stormtroopers? Why not give us Imperial officers? Why create this new group of troops, essentially, for us to follow and deal with and be afraid of? Yeah.
So I think I started feeling that way right off the bat. And this was one of my notes is, this doesn't feel like a Star Wars film. Like the whole first episode, the first episode ends, and I'm like, this didn't feel like Star Wars. Like there's a few moments where there's some aliens. And
obviously we see a
the
blaster go
Andor
off.
used looks like Han Solo's.
Yeah.
And so there's a few moments that are like, ooh, looks like Star Wars. That prop or that alien.
The clothing and the ships are clearly Star Wars-esque.
But even then, like, if you had never watched Star Wars before, I wouldn't blame somebody for watching it and go, oh, this is a cool new sci-fi property. It's not, and not associating it with Star Wars if they weren't a big fan of Star Wars or had never seen Star Wars.
Right.
Because it didn't have the vibe.
Yeah.
It didn't have, no stormtroopers. For me, thinking back on it, I think the tone and the music, I think the music was a big thing, that it didn't sound like a Star Wars score.
Well, and that's something that I've been butthurt about for a little while now.
With Lord of the Rings.
That it's well, no, not just that. It was specifically with Star Wars. I think, like, I understand the reason that they did it, but I think personally that in terms of Rogue One and Solo, not having an opening crawl with the Star Wars fanfare is a misstep. Because it instantly, again, like, that happens and it instantly transports you into the universe you're dealing with.
Right.
And it's something that I was thinking about last night, and I don't know if you would do it with a show.
You're that specific.
Yeah, it's Star Wars
song.
Yeah, let me know that it's Star Wars. And then, Solo can have his own theme that plays whenever he's on screen and stuff like that. But give me the Star Wars fanfare, because I don't know if you would do it with the shows or how you, what the approach is. I mean, even the Clone Wars, the show did it for the first episode, but it got me thinking. So far, we have only gotten, the only time we really get an opening crawl and the fanfare, Disney seems to have, and Lucasfilm seems to have sort of stated or made it clear that those are things that are reserved for the Skywalker saga, for the episodic main films.
Yep.
But
that's what it seems like. Yeah.
Are those not presumably done?
Yeah.
So will we never, is that what's being said here? Are we never going to get, right? There's the rumored not rumored, it was announced and then kind of postponed and now sort of maybe shelved, taken off the release schedule, the Rogue Squadron movie. I have to assume that wouldn't have gotten the fanfare.
Yeah.
So if all of our movies forward are just sort of fleshing out this larger universe, and it just got me thinking and feeling like Star Wars, much like your thoughts and feelings on the MCU right now, Star Wars is in this, what is the roadmap?
Yeah. They're just kind of, it's kind of like throwing a whole bunch of dirt on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. And so that and that makes me sad. I understand there's sort of two minds on Star Wars. People out there who think, that every time, things like bringing Palpatine back and making Rey related to someone and doing all this stuff, that is just sort of making the universe smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And that they need to just, blow open the doors of the universe and make it this big, expansive, awesome thing. And then there are people on the opposite side of that where I fall, where I'm like, no, but I love that sort of connective tissue, because Star Wars at its core was a drama about a really messy family. It was about bloodlines and lineage and just, shitty fathers. Right?
And everybody connected to those. And
so I want more Skywalker saga, even if it's not, even if we're following Rey now, but just keep moving forward and give me more. And I want to see the Jedi Order, and I want to see, because even though Palpatine's gone now, presumably gone, the Sith will rise again. Like the Force is in constant flux, right? That's not the elimination of all Sith.
You can't just destroy the dark side.
No. So someone is going to go, ooh, this power feels good, and are going to start practicing and dabbling in things they shouldn't practice and dabble in. And so show me that. Give me more. And then use these other films, use the in-between films to, flesh out, like, show me the Old Republic, right? Mm-hmm. And show me the High Republic, and show me all of these different things. Give me a young Qui-Gon Jinn, which is sort of what we're getting with that Star Wars Jedi Tales animated show.
Yeah, that looks cool.
It looks so good, right? A young, like the story there that I'm most interested in is the Dooku one, where Dooku's starting to
fall from the.
Yeah, he's still a Jedi, but he's not acting like a Jedi. And so stuff like that, that's what excites me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. So I think on this kind of vein, I think I only agree with half of what you're saying. So I'm more interested in the things that you're saying you're interested in. But as far as like the fanfare and the scroll and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with like Rogue One not using it, Han Solo not using it, the TV shows not using it. But this is back to like the music and the tone that Andor gives, or rather doesn't give, and I think it's missing, is it doesn't have like all those other shows, and like The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Han Solo, Rogue One, they all had these great epic scores, right? Mandalorian, it's got its own fanfare at the beginning. Yeah, that has become synonymous with Mandalorian so much. Yeah,
Mandalorian's got a great soundtrack.
When he shows up in Boba Fett, his theme plays for a second. Yeah, to get the goosebumps rolling. And I don't get that from Andor. Like, where's that epic score? Yeah,
not yet. Anyway, like certainly not in the first episode.
Yeah, it was just disappointing. It felt flat for me, and it didn't feel like Star Wars because it didn't have that musical score that felt epic, and it didn't have like a tone of Star Wars. And I don't think it necessarily needed stormtroopers and things like that, but it just didn't feel like, if there weren't the occasional alien popping up, I could have easily assumed that was a Firefly episode.
Right. Like, and then I would have been disappointed.
Spy Western. You would have been disappointed. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's like, I don't have an issue with there not being Star Wars, because in those kind of opening texts, they talk about it being a outer rim / kind of mid. Was it outer rim or mid rim? I can't remember now. I think it's mid rim. Mid rim. So like, that's an area that outer rim, the Empire has no control to very little, and mid rim is very little control at all. So that's why they're relying on this security force to help them out. So that I think
their numbers are still not, I don't know. Like, the Empire's big, but there's only so many dummies willing to enlist and sign up.
Yeah. And the Empire's massive, or the galaxy's huge, right? Huge. They can't do it all themselves. They do need to rely on corporations to help them out.
Did you think there was a little bit of a double standard when when Andor kills the two Primo guards that were, sort of giving him the shakedown out in the alley? Because they're robbing him, and they have a gun pressed into his back. And then when Andor accidentally kills one of them, the surviving guard at that moment is like looks at Andor and is like, "You killed him." Like,
how could you do this?
Was like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's like, You just had a gun to his back.
Yeah. And all he did was like backwards headbutt him. So
yeah. And I mean, maybe they never planned on killing him, but Andor doesn't know that. Like the threat of
they've got
murder is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that was, and then I didn't expect like Andor executes the other one, and I did not expect that, but I guess maybe he saw that there was no, like, that this was just a loose end, that this guy had seen his face and knew that like he couldn't leave him alive.
I think, and I think he didn't buy his story about what he would tell the office about the other guy's death. And
yeah, that's fair.
But then like so we've watched all three and we're just doing one episode at a time here.
Wow. Way to let the cat out of the bag.
Well, I mean, all you did say all three were on, and you watched all three last night, and I watched all three.
Fair.
So
okay.
You let the cat out of the bag long before I did.
No, you're right.
But after I watched all three, and I had that kind of music feeling and stuff like that that we had talked about, I thought I want to jump back to Rogue One, and I watched like the first 15-20 minutes of Rogue One just to kind of get a sense of who is Andor again. And in the first time we meet Andor, he kills a fellow rebel in cold blood because he can't climb the wall.
Yeah. No,
so
he's
not out of character from, but this early in his character development, that he's already kind of that mentality.
Yeah. I mean, moving forward, maybe that's what makes him so valuable come episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. This show looks better than any other Star Wars show. And I think I think we've been oohing and ahhing so much over the volume sets, those sort of like 360 degree LED walls that Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian use.
Yeah.
And it is really cool technology, but Andor uses an actual, like they've like built the town.
Actual stage. Yeah.
And it just feels less claustrophobic. There's something claustrophobic feeling about the volume stage stuff. Like it just doesn't feel
one of my pluses.
big.
Yeah, the practical effects.
Yeah,
from the
aliens.
Like, Mandalorian used practical alien effects in a lot of the aliens too, but you just kind of getting back to the roots of Star Wars, having practical effects, practical stages. Yeah, it felt real and lived in.
What do you think about the fact seems weird to me, and I was like, is something wrong with my Disney Plus? There are no subtitles for the Kenari stuff.
Yeah, almost all the foreign non-English language.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I want to know what they're saying.
To an extent, you can kind of infer, like based on the context, you can kind of infer what the conversation is that they're having. But there are moments where I can't. There are moments where the dialogue seems to go, like it's a 2-minute dialogue, and none of it is anything that I can understand.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was because I had my closed captioning on. Because Emily likes to watch all her shows with closed captioning on, so she doesn't miss any conversation if they're whispering. But so I turned mine off and like rewatched a couple scenes, and it was
that's what I did.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So
and I was like,
that's always I always find that frustrating.
Yeah, and I don't get the reasoning for it here.
They did it in Prey too, the new Predator movie.
Oh, did they?
Not completely. Like the Native Americans speak a lot of English, but it's assumed, that the show is translating for you. They're actually speaking their language, and we're hearing the English, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I hope everyone knows what I mean.
Yep.
But there are a lot of scenes where they're speaking the native language, and there's no subtitle to tell you what they're saying, and you have to infer what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like you were saying, and I find it frustrating. 'Cause I would like to know, what are you saying?
So the chief inspector of Primo wants to just cover up the murders because it's messy and it's complicated, and there are, too many. It's going to shine light on too many illegal and questionable things that are going on. And he's also on his way to a imperial inspection where he kind of has to give a bit of an update on how things are going, talk about crime rates, and it's just easier and better for him to sweep things under the rug. Also, he's not wrong. It wasn't technically just the one guy died in a fight.
Yeah, well, he very quickly and easily figured out, based on the facts that were given, that were available, that he deduced exactly what happened.
Yeah, they shook this guy down and they decided to annoy the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing something they shouldn't, and they paid the price. Not our problem. Sweep it under the rug.
His subordinate, who is the guy that sort of reports it to him, right? Was up all night figuring out details and tracking leads and stuff like that. He's not listening. He's not going to drop this thing and let it go. And I am, if there's anything in this show that I'm really excited to see play out, it's when the chief inspector gets back and shit hits the fan because this guy disobeyed a direct order.
That's I don't remember what his name is in the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
But which is too bad. I should remember it because he's actually a pretty interesting character. Like he's custom tailored his uniform to be tighter and more professional looking than the kind of baggy one that everyone else wears, and he's like very serious about his job and like this is important work we're doing and we should do it right every time despite the consequences. And yeah, he's a pretty straight and narrow bad guy, which is an interesting character trait for a bad guy.
In some ways, he reminds me of Hux.
Okay.
Just this
General
like,
Hux.
Yeah, just this like, he's giving off more confidence than I think he actually has.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got the confidence, but he doesn't have the skill set to back it up quite yet.
Yeah. There was only one moment in this episode that made me roll my eyes, where I was like, oh, come on. Blue ramen. Did you pick up on this?
Like food?
Yeah, so there's a moment where there's like when this security guy is like barking orders at the people for like getting information and stuff. That scene starts with a close-up of a guy, one of these security officers, and he's holding like a Chinese takeout box, one of those like square folding noodle boxes, and with chopsticks he's clearly just eating ramen noodles out of it, but they've dyed them blue.
No, I missed that.
And
I vaguely remember
lazy.
somebody eating something in that scene, but I didn't. That's funny.
Yeah, they're just blue ramen noodles, and I'm like, that's funny, but it's also lazy. Like, I don't know.
Call back to blue milk.
Sort of, I guess. So what? These are bantha noodles? Like,
yeah.
How's that work? And then, as is formulaic for any Star Wars property ever, we need a cute droid companion, apparently.
Yeah. What did you think of B2?
B2 EMO?
B2 EMO.
I really like his stutter.
Yeah.
I really like his stutter. I loved
interesting.
the whole, like, the fact that for a droid to lie, it takes extra power. Like, it's harder for them to lie than to just tell the
they
truth.
Have to process it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked, and I liked where he's like, can you tell me a lie? Or can you make a lie? And he's like, yes, I have adequate power supply to make a lie. And he's like, don't tell anyone you know, don't tell anyone you saw me, don't tell anyone you know where I am. And he's like, that's two lies.
Yeah. Is it like it's a cool looking droid too? Like the way he can kind of like turtle in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course we get the R2D2 taser come out.
Taser when the droid
that's
hog
peeing
is
on him,
taking a whiz. Yeah. Did you have anything else written down in your notes?
For episode 1, yeah, just I liked B2. I thought he was a fun droid with a unique personality for a droid. We don't get a lot of droids that talk. So when we do see them and they have these vastly different personalities, it's really cool.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like obviously protocol droids talk. And like IG-88 and stuff like that talks. I think this is like the first like short, like Astro Droid-esque droid that we've gotten that talks.
Yeah, because anything that's not humanoid looking usually just makes noises.
Yeah.
Gonk droids, mouse droids, R2 droids.
Yeah.
Or rather, astromechs, not R2 droids. R2's a type of astromech droid. But yeah. So usually they just make beeps and whizzes and different funny noises. So yeah, having a little short droid that talks is pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Unique design, unique personality. I like the practical effects and the stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a wish list of people you're hoping to see going forward?
That's a good question. I think no, not really. Yeah, not really. It'd be nice to see some sort of like, I don't know, who could they give us? We could see Ahsoka.
My big one would be K2SO.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk's. The Empire droid.
Which would make sense.
That'd be cool.
It would make sense.
Saul Guerrera would be neat.
Yeah.
I think touch that. Just a few like touchstones into Rogue One, just to kind of tie the Andor TV show into the larger
give universe. A little more connective
and the
tissue
closest tie-in is that we tie it into Rogue One, I think. So
we could see Bail Organa. That would make sense.
Yep,
it would
that'd be
line
cool.
up. We could see. So by that token, we could see Leia.
Potentially. I don't think I'd want to. I think I'd leave it at Bail. Like Bail's still alive till the end of A New Hope, or I guess middle of New Hope. So I'd rather see him over Leia. He'd be a more prominent figure in the rebellion.
As far as the rebellion goes, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, Leia's not out of the question.
Yeah. I don't want to see Tatooine.
No, and I don't think we will. They've got there's no reason for us to go there.
Well, there's been lots of times where there's been no reason for us to go there, and we seem to end up there anyways.
Yeah, I think it would be more interesting for Andor to end up somewhere like the galactic center of the Empire on Coruscant.
I would love to see really Coruscant. Cool. I would love to see Coruscant
because this has got all the hallmarks and vibes of becoming a spy thriller kind of show, right?
Yeah.
Because that's who Cassian is.
I mean, realistically, and I don't think we will by any stretch of the imagination, but there's no reason we couldn't see Vader.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. That's true.
Right? Like just on Mustafar.
Yeah. I can't again, I can't imagine.
There's no reason to.
Yeah, there's no the way. Yeah, I don't see any main characters other than someone like Bail's even not a main character. Any main characters from the original trilogy, I don't think any of them are going to show up.
Mon Mothma, I'm sure we'll see.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's potential. She was in Rogue One. So.
Yeah, she's in a deleted scene of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's definitely around and has been around for a good chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
So And Jar Jar. Hopefully we see Jar Jar.
You know, I've always wondered what happened to Jar Jar.
Yeah.
So maybe
I wouldn't mind finding out. I wouldn't mind us touching base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was this episode a win or a fail for you, sir?
I think overall this one failed. I feel like maybe they knew it was going to fail, and that's why they released 3 episodes back to back. Dropped them all at once.
Here you go.
Here you go. This one, the first, it's going to take 3 to get into it. So watch all 3 at once.
Yeah. Cool. I would mostly agree. I think I didn't dislike this episode, but I don't know, like, had it come out and there had not been 2 more to follow it up with right away, I wouldn't have been very excited.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have spent the week longing for it.
The fact that they're only 30 minutes long is definitely a win, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
That makes them much more palpable to sit down and
more consumable.
And
yeah, cool. Well, thank you for listening. This is the first episode in a long journey, not only with Andor, but with Carl and television.
Yeah.
Our
Welcome
roots.
to the Movie Man B team.
The Movie Men B team. Yes, exactly. Which somehow I am also on. God, there's no escape for me.
Yeah, you get to play both teams.
I do.
You're the ringer for the B team.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Pete usually does this. Check out the somewhere there's like links to things. You can buy our merch. You can support us on Patreon, which is definitely something you want to do, because there's some wicked awesome stuff on there. Sometimes we record videos of the episodes we record, and so we post them there. There's all sorts of like
voting
exclusive
powers,
stuff. Yeah.
Suggest stuff,
voting power.
like
Yeah.
True
You get,
Lies.
yeah. See, there you go. There you go. Carl's got this.
Yeah.
So make sure you check out all those links, and wherever you see this episode, or ideally on our Facebook, let us know what you think of the first episode of Andor. Was it a miss for you? Was it a win? Was this a show that you wanted? Or are you also like us going, whose idea was this? Because, maybe it'll be great. But on
Maybe
paper,
it'll work out in the end.
On paper, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Not right away, anyway.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And until next time.
I'm Carl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
yes,
Brady.
he is. Yes,
And
he is.
we're out of here.
That works.